this has been like my 5,000th take today. I keep getting interrupted by someone. Yeah. So I have been trying to put out another video for like 2 weeks now, and every day there's a distraction. Every day there's something that kind of takes me off task, but I am grateful to be able to be here today recording. I had a video planned to release on Plato's Cave allegory, and that didn't happen. I've been trying to work on content for the past couple weeks, and I don't know how people stay focused with kids, because I would get so much done if I didn't have them. But honestly, I love the challenge. I love the challenge of having to manage being a mother and still being able to do this. Like, it kind of excites me when people say, how do you do it with 2 kids? Because I know people who have way more, who make content. Like, I can't remember her name, but I know there's a content creator that I've seen who's like, she has like 7 kids, and she's been making content for over like probably 5 or more years, I think. And I've always admired her just because, like, it's challenging to already balance someone else's emotions outside of your own, plus feed them, plus clothe them, plus keep them entertained, like making sure they don't get into trouble, making sure, you know, they feel loved and appreciated. It's not easy. So kudos to her, and kudos to all the moms who can get on here and make content and, you know, create a better future, leave something behind for their kids. So I wanted to talk today about why it's so hard to believe in something you cannot see yet. And I think this is important to remember, like for me as a millennial, because I was here before social media, before it was a thing, when we had to actually walk to people's houses and we couldn't just order food and get it like 45 minutes or less, unless it was pizza, to our houses. We had to actually go out to meet people at parties and, you know, mingle. Now we get to sit in the comfort of our own homes and never really have to talk to people. We get to talk to cameras now, which is cool. But, you know, it takes away the fun of the waiting game, the anticipation of working for something that you want, or, you know, freeing yourself to step outside of your cage. And I think for a lot of us during this pandemic, our homes have become our cage, our screens have become our cage. And if you are watching my video, I appreciate it. I really do. But I do hope this also inspires you to go outside of your home, go get some fresh air, you know, talk to people, because I will say I am a huge empath. I really don't like going out. I used to, but I've gotten to a point where, like, I appreciate my peace. And I'm not saying like just go out into the world and talk to anybody. I mean, go around places that make you happy, that bring you to life, that connect you with other people, with nature, with culture. So instant gratification, let's talk about it. It's really, really hard these days, I think, to want to work for something. I see so many videos like every day, like, this is how you go viral, and this is how, you know, you'll get your video on the algorithm every day. And there's a few things about that. So with going viral, I think that, yeah, it promises that all these people will look at you and suddenly give you the attention you desire, and somehow that will manifest into success and fame for you. But then you're expected to keep that up for a really long time. And if you don't keep it up, you just have 15 seconds of fame. That's what we used to call it, or 10 seconds of fame, whatever. And I have a dream of building something sustainable. So when you're building a house, you know, if you use crap materials, it's not going to last very long. When the hurricane hits, when the storm hits, when there's a tornado, when there's too much snow, when there's a freeze, the house will fall apart. But if you start to use sustainable materials, we have a lot of spitting going on. If you have sustainable materials that are meant to last, things that aren't easily shakable, then the foundation that you build lasts for years and years and years to come. That's why I appreciate like brick buildings and stone buildings, because they're built to last. They're not built to easily fall under pressure. So, you know, there's a lot of things I think as parents too that we want for our kids and we desire. And not all of us, not all of us took the steps to prepare for that necessarily, because we have real life things that happen to us. A lot of us are starting to understand the things that happened to us as kids. We're understanding where our parents came from and why they might have done the things that they did, and like getting to the point where we're accepting that and we're forgiving them and we're learning to forgive ourselves. So when we want to attain something, we're thinking, oh, it's going to take 5 seconds in order to get it, and then everything will be okay. And I've said this like a few times in my own life. I could sell everything I have right now just to get some quick money. But will I know how to save? Will I know how to prepare? Will I know how to create something where I don't have to look back and wonder, did I do enough to build this? Having that repetition of your mind when creating something, like knowing that you're building something worth lasting, is what creates a solid foundation. So I remember when I was younger, I'll give you a couple stories. One of them being my stepfather was teaching me how to ride a bike, and he was making me go down the hill every single day. And one day it got repetitive. Like, he would make me do it over and over again, to the point where my mom was begging him to let me come in the house because I was skinning my knee. I was crying. I was upset. And he's like, no, she's going to keep riding until she rides this bike. And we actually don't have a great relationship. We don't speak at all. But I am very grateful for him not letting me get off that bike, because it has made me more determined than ever to achieve my goals. I'm going to be honest, because a lot of people will not tell you, videos go viral on here when they say, oh, I went from broke to $10,000 in 7 days. So let me show you how. For me, it doesn't look like that. I've had real struggles, not only understanding how to save money, but also how to create it and make it last. It's been difficult for me to be consistent with content because I get distracted very easily. It hasn't been easy to find my own self-worth and see what I have is something of value. And if I continue at it and I persist at it, that I will be someone great. I'm going to be honest, there aren't many people who do something truly great in this world. And it doesn't have to be big because it's success and people love and adore you. It's because you were persistent at something every day and never gave up, until you created this thing that was bigger than yourself to be of service to other people. That's why I love watching athletes and longtime entrepreneurs, because they can show you, everybody's big on receipts. They want to see the proof. And most people don't remember the days where, you spent working super hard and your outfit was ugly and your hair was a mess, but you were still working at what you wanted because nobody was paying attention to you. They don't pay attention to you until you're big, until you have value, until you appreciate and your equity is built. And I wanted to actually do a video on that, but I guess I can kind of say some of it here. When things appreciate and value, it's because of the work that is put into it, or the time you have to acquire value. So, for example, I'll just use because I was listening to a speech from him this morning, Kobe Bryant. I'm sure nobody knew what he was going to be when he was a kid. I mean, maybe the greatest athletes who can eye a good athlete, but most people didn't know he was going to be known for all the things that he is, which goes far beyond basketball. He was a great motivational speaker. He was someone who was here to help change the world, to inspire tons of kids and people to change their lives and to stick with something. And you didn't have to be an athlete to listen to him. So, with people like that in the world, and you can watch them slowly but surely over years and years of time work up to being who they are just by being persistent, you see, okay, you don't become great overnight. You don't become the person of your dreams with the big house and the big cars, because that's not what matters at the end of the day. What matters is the legacy that you build and you leave behind, whether it's for your children, whether it's for people you want to be in service to. People remember you. And the reason we remember these great people is because they dared to be different and do something not everyone else was doing. Sometimes I wonder myself, okay, there's tons of entrepreneurs there. There's tons of moms who speak out, and motivate people. But you know what? I also realize it's not easy to get up and have a dream and then stick with that dream even when it looks ugly, even when it's not cute. I have my baby here. You think it's I love her and I love my other one, but it's not my dream to sit at my desk that's really dirty every day, with not having clean myself up and look what I consider presentable, and have these big lights, camera action, and a whole crew. I'm at home right now with my podcast mic, at 5, 6 in the morning creating content that I believe one day will help change the world. And there's no instant gratification in that. There's nothing that's gonna like hurry up and give me everything that I hoped and dreamed of instantly. It's something I have to wait for. It's something that has to be created over time, and you get better and better. I remember when I first started getting comfortable with truly being on camera, I was making videos with my sound bowl when my other one was this size actually. And I don't want to say the quality has improved, but like I found my voice. I wasn't talking then on those videos. And something happened when I got this mic where I realized that there was power in the voice. And I think that's something like Gen Z has also kind of discovered and brought back. Radio used to be a really big thing, and now podcasting is big. So people realize using the power of your voice and how much it can impact and change the world. Yes. I think with everything, including technology changing, we need to remember that it's important to enjoy the waiting process. I think motherhood has also taught me that a lot because, like, I remember when I first got pregnant, both times, I would constantly look at the pregnancy test to confirm that I was actually pregnant. And then I would always, like, poke my belly, like, for confirmation that, you know, a baby was in there when they were big enough to move. I'd be like, it's like when you're building a dream and you have to keep reminding yourself, like, this is real, it's happening, it's coming. You don't just like blink and then one day you wake up in the outfit, but you actually do. Like, after doing something over and over again, and you know, you created this reality in your mind, one day you wake up and it's just real. And I think the days that I gave birth and I held them in my arms, I was like, okay, this dream, I literally dreamt of my kids, and now I hold them in my arms as actual humans, and now this is real. And I think it becomes scarier once the dream becomes real, because once it does, you have to figure out what's next. You know, it doesn't just end with, you know, oh, I got fame, or oh, I got 1 million followers, or, you know, now I have the money to have the house that I want to, because then you have to figure out how to sustain it. Then you have to figure out what you're going to do after that, you know. And my dreams go beyond just being a motivational speaker or just creating content. Like, there's something in the works here right now that I haven't quite figured out yet, that I'm okay with being patient and waiting for. And I say I'm okay with it. I'll be honest, it's not easy, because I'm like, damn, I've been doing this forever. Like, I see people go viral overnight, but the viral thing, it's not meant to last. It's short term. Unless you know what to do with it. Like, I'll say one of the people I love to follow is Bretman Rock. And I forget, like, in early YouTube days, Bretman Rock was already making content. And I think, like, Bretman is a beautiful human being. But I also remember, like, the beginning stages when they were on social media making content, and they don't look anything like they look now. But it's because, like, over time you get better. Over time you figure out what you truly want. Over time, like, you can mold yourself. You can create the sculpture that is so beautiful in the end. And it's not even the end. You just think it's beautiful because tons of people are adoring it right now. But you figure out who you are, and then you become okay with that person. And then you continue to build onto them. So my little one needs me. But this was really fun to talk about today, because it allows me to remind myself that there's a bigger vision in sight, and there's one for you too. You just have to be okay with going through the process. Don't let this instant gratification viral stuff fool you. Like, it takes time to get to wherever you want to be in life. Nothing happens overnight, but then again, it does. Just stop paying attention to the time. Do whatever you're doing with passion, do it out of service, and do it because you love it, not because you're expecting something out of it. So, okay. See, she's like, we're not okay. See? All right, until next time, let love lead the way.